All right, so how XP generally works is that the amount of XP you get depends on what your final amount of encroach after backtrack is. Backtrack is rolling the lowest dice.
What?
What?
Seriously?
What do
Yeah.
you? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's evil.
So
Your
if
XP is based entirely on random dice rolls.
yeah, pretty much. So how this works is if you have 0 to 30%, you get 2 points. If you have 31 to 50%, you get 3 points. If you have 51 to 70%, you get 4 points. And if you have 71% to 99%, you get five.
Woo.
Woo.
What?
Do
Yeah.
we all get 5?
No, I get 4.
Aww.
You rolled
Quickies
too well.
concentrate.
And then the extra stuff is like completed the scenario's goals 1 to 10, or so that'd be 10. Participated until the end of the session. You get 1 XP. Good roleplay, 1 XP. Helped out other players, 1 XP. Helped with session progression, 1 XP. Helped set up the time and place for the game, 1 XP.
So how
That's
much are
so
we getting?
Japanese. I like the one from Night Wizard where it's like you bring snacks, you get XP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's actually in there, I think.
Yeah, that'd be help with the time and place. But screw it, everyone gets 20. I don't care about this little chart here.
Woohoo!
All right. Thank you.
Santa Claus DM.
No, it's just a weird thing. It's because it's
I'm
entirely
kidding.
based on rolls. It's like, what? I get why they do it, because it's supposed to encourage you to go a little balls out with your encroach, because otherwise you just play safe and don't do anything.
Yeah.
And that'll be the end of the campaign.
Hooray!
We survived.
Except for Kazuya, who now has
Yeah.
scars.
He has laser scars.
You can get those erased with lasers.
It's just maybe psychological scars.
He gets a cross-shaped scar on his cheek.
Yeah, he's now Kenshin.
Mm-hmm.
Just horrible nightmares about clowns.
Everyone in False Heart starts targeting him with clown illusions now.
Can't sleep. Clown, leave me.
You walk in and somebody puts a picture of Pennywise up on the wall.
Suddenly the entire cafe is on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, let's really start messing with the head of the guy with a destruction impulse
Yeah, it's
who sets things on fire.
sounds good to me.
That would have been hilarious if I had actually like failed the will check in the basement,
You could have been
because
pretty
I
bad.
had privately resolved that if that had happened, that house was burning down.
Well, hopefully it was fun.
It was
It
fun.
was.
was.
I was very happy.
So what
This
are...
is a much better system than Night Wizard.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
No
ask,
werewolves.
what are everyone's impressions about the system now that we've had a campaign of it? Let's debrief.
As
I think
GM, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of the quirks that I sort of now associate with Japanese systems, where they're designed for sort of shorter episodic play.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely
it's
has
it's
that.
designed to be like you play a contained adventure, then you play another contained adventure, then you play another contained adventure. So I guess that keeps in with the sort of anime sensibility of the game, where it's like you're making a show.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you do your episodes, you do your episodes, you do your episodes. It's and I think it feels less vague in the non-combat stuff than Night Wizard did, but that might just have been that we were playing with incomplete rules when we played it.
Yeah, we just played using like what two dudes did and posted on the internet that, we don't even know if it's a whole book. So
Yeah. I don't know that the investigation stuff is quite. I don't know. It feels a bit like punishing.
Yeah.
Because of the encroach rolls for the
Yeah, because like
scenes.
it's like, oh yeah, you need to make another check. You're making another encroach roll. So like, watch your encroach go brrrr because you're doing investigation
Yeah.
checks.
To be fair, that might have been me misinterpreting things, and this is so that probably was just me misinterpreting things. But the
Well, if you work for the translation company and are watching these videos, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, it's having to roll encroach every time you enter any scene is kind of, I don't know, it made me paranoid and sort of stressed out the whole time. I was like, I'm going to turn into a germ. My character's going to die at the end of the adventure.
That's like sort of, that seems to be, again, like with having played Night Wizard, that also sort of seems to be like a thing in these kind of games, where it's like, are you even in this scene? Like in Night Wizard, you're supposed to roll.
Yeah, roll for entrance.
Roll for entrance to see if you even got to participate in the scene.
And Hero even had a power that would let him override the entrance rolls.
Yeah, Hero had like a dramatic entrance power, and you're like, I show up. And I think Dark Hero had something like that too.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
But
I
like,
kind of
I think
like
the thing
that.
with the Hero one was also that you could do it during the, I think while the scene was in progress. So you're like, dramatic entry. Woo, I'm here.
I like that, kind of like with Night Wizard. For each class, you can have several roles, but it isn't divided up by the type like Night Wizard was. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you can spec them out however you want to, depending on which powers you take.
The one thing I really liked about Night Wizard was how you did the elements thing, and that determined your stats.
You like that?
I actually liked that.
I kind of liked it too, a little bit.
Just to explain for Matt, basically what you did was you would pick like two elements that were like
Fire and earth.
Yeah, fire, earth, wind, void, water, all this stuff, right? And then the combination that you picked would determine your stats.
It's kind of like how syndromes do on this game.
Yep.
Sort of, yeah.
Except it wasn't tied to what your classes were.
And you had way more stats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A big block of stats.
One of the things that I
It
like
wasn't
about the system is that the character creation is really flexible. Like you can, even if you're just going for a pure character, there's still a lot of variety within that.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
I could have been an extremely different Morpheus character. I could have been a very melee-focused one like Takeru, or I could have been, one without any vehicle skills, or one that's support and buff focused. Like that's just within one syndrome, and every syndrome is like that. Like it has a lot of flexibility within it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's like
Hanuman, especially
40
with support.
Fucking Hanuman. I didn't even expect that. I read the description for Hanuman. It's like, oh, this one's the speedster one. That's okay. Flip open to it, read it, and it's like speed, sound waves, a bunch of support abilities. Like,
well,
what the
you can't really have I don't think any of the syndromes just does one thing.
No, it doesn't.
Like even Chimera, which is like mostly damage powers, has other stuff.
It does.
Yeah.
I actually really like Hanuman's support stuff, and I think like in a longer campaign, I would definitely have invested more in that, because like once you start stacking it, you can start giving huge buffs to the entire group.
Yeah.
Because you can stack Angel Voice, Cheer, and Hard Beat. And like Angel Voice is reduces the critical value and gives a dice bonus, and then Cheer gives a dice bonus, and then Hard Beat gives an attack power bonus. And then you stack that with Wind's Messenger, and that lets you target plus level +1 characters. So at level 1 you can target 3 characters.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of variety in here, and like
And none of it says you can't target yourself either.
you can really weave powers together in interesting ways. I mean, if I were to do this all over again, I would probably build Yukinori somewhat differently and give myself some like actual attack powers.
Yeah, I like the way the combo system, especially.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
even right now, my punch attack has a power of 20. But even if I got 2 on the 10 digits of the attack roll, like there's nothing else that would be added to that in terms of bonuses.
No.
So I would just get like 20 something, maximum 30. And like you guys have, lower base powers, but because you can combo stuff, you're doing like 40, 50 damage. So that's something I would
Yeah, my
look
base
into.
power was 15, which
Yeah,
Like
you had
that's,
a.
that's
you
my
like-
max
you like-
damage.
you like dead gunned your way to get the robot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
but it was cool. It was flavorful. I like the robot. That's my T-Zone thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's with no mods.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You should have gotten a bunch of Ace Driver.
Ooh.
Well, because checks that use this power receive a plus level dice bonus.
Yep.
So then you could use concentrate.
Yep.
I mean, that's the kind of thing I would add in that and like the humorously named penetrate and that kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Also,
Ooh,
the
genocide mode.
some of the stuff that comes out in the advanced book that I mentioned actually seems pretty interesting because they play with the lowest system a lot. I know one thing right off the bat is you're able to change what your encroach bonuses are, and instead of getting like dice bonuses and then like a +1 to your levels, I think there's a way that they change it such that it comes slower, but every time you get a tier, it's a level bonus, but you get no dice bonuses.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to be picking up the advanced book, and there was a lot of other stuff too. Like they had stuff that played with like germs that would give you like a bonus to like your backtrack rolls because you were so horrified by what the germ was that you actually got a bonus to your lowest roll.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So the advanced book seems really cool, and of course, like everyone else is saying, the variety of just there was like 40 powers per syndrome, which is amazing, and the ability to do like pure breed, crossbreed, or tri-breed, and combo everything. But I think the weakness of the system is that it kind of sucks for social stuff.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
great for that.
Like out of combat, it's just like, well, okay, roll negotiate. There you go.
Roll procure.
Yeah, roll info skill.
Well, I've always kind of felt like the counterpoint to that is that the onus of roleplay is on
The
you.
player. Yeah.
It's on the group.
Which is true.
Like, I
yeah.
mean, because I've heard a lot of people dig on like D&D. Like, oh well, it's not a role-playing system. It's a combat
Role-playing
system. And I'm like, yeah, the role-playing is on you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can still role play.
Yeah, no, it's
Nothing
that's
preventing you
yeah.
from playing your character.
I don't
Even
think
in the older editions of D&D, it was mostly just rolling for reactions instead of, what your actions were supposed to be.
But a
think
lot
that-
of these people are also the sort of folks who then say, like, they then instead, talk up like a storyteller game as being more for the role players, when really that's the sort of game for people who like forcing how other people react to things, since those are
Yeah.
generally full of like special social powers that you can't avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think another reason why like the social system in this game may not be super developed is because the social aspect of the game, I think, is supposed to take a back seat to everything else, because most of the powers are focused on combat stuff. There are a couple of
Yeah.
powers in a few syndromes that are social, but I think overall this game is focused more on the the high flying, badass, over the top fun combat.
Which is true. Yeah, I agree.
Which it does really well.
Which is part of why I got so amped for this game that I actually went and bought the book. Like, I went out of the way to get this goddamn book because I was so torqued for this.
It's an incredibly stylish and flavorful system with a lot of options. I like that.
Yeah. We may come back to it. Who knows? If
Nice
I did do
procure
another, if we did do this again, what I would probably do is seek to do more of a higher powered one where you're doing like stuff against the Xenos organization, which is yeah, run by like the creepy like lowly renegade being chick who like is purebred Newman, and she is way smarter than you are.
Annoying.
And
She's possibly been
Annoying.
around for like hundreds of years.
yeah, so it would be like this really like world-changing stuff, whereas this was like, I mean, yeah, it had dire consequences, but I mean, they still were able to clean it up, you know?
It's pretty localized.
Yeah.
I like the
Which is fine for a game that was mostly for us getting introduced to it.
yeah, it was a great one-shot setting.
It was great. Oh yeah.
The stakes are high, but they're not like galactic high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And if it was a higher powered game, we'd presumably have, you know, more XP to build ourselves with.
Yeah, I was just number off the top of my head like 300 XP.
Oh, any final closing thoughts on the system or the campaign that we just ran, which I had a lot of fun
I
with?
want to do it again.
Thank you very much, Steve, for running this.
Yes,
It was
thank you.
enjoyable as always.
And
glad.
thank you for coding it. It must have been a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because I know you
Even
worked for like 2
though
months
the
on
sheet
it.
never quite worked for me.
You put
Never
like
quite worked through.
a month of work into this framework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meh.
And now it's all going in the garbage can.
It is.
Unless we get it back. We'll have to
You're,
build
you're
a new
talking
one.
about releasing the framework, or if you could get permission, right?
Yeah, I've already talked to the guy who translated the book, and he was in favor of it, but honestly, my skill set, my abilities at coding, I'm not that great at it, so I would be endlessly fiddling with this thing. So if someone watching this wants to take it up, you're more than welcome to, but I just can't do it.
Time to GitHub it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us for this adventure, and thank you to Steve for running it. Thank you to Farrell and to Jared, and of course to Noda for joining in the game with us. And join us next time when we are playing Talislanta.
Not Fatal or
No.
Made RPG.
Join us next time when we play All Flesh Must Be Eaten. Just in time for Halloween.
Until-
Necronica.
Until the next time, all the
I
best.
made that joke earlier.